Traditional search, when we talk about traditional, we're talking about things like the Google search of yesteryear, Bing, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, those search engines where you go type in a simple request, you get a simple answer. These are great for quick actions, clicks to websites, phone calls, getting directions, or a quick piece of information. In 2025, traditional search was responsible for 96% of website traffic. And that's through organic, paid, other traditional search mediums, not just organic traffic, but collectively website traffic primarily is driven through traditional search today and through the start of this year. Success has been tracked by things like keyword volume and position and visibility. So whether you're running an organic strategy or a paid strategy, things like impressions and clicks have always been really important, and then click-through rates and conversions. AI search is a little bit of a different game. What AI search allows us to do is ask really complex questions that can have multiple criteria or dimensions. A great example, one of the first searches I ever did with AI search to kind of test it was ask, can you prepare a list of 5 meals for a family of 4 that uses a variety of meats, grains, and vegetables? Give me a list of the recipes and sort that list by the section of the store where I would get each of those ingredients. I could never ask that question of Google or Bing before because there's no article that addresses that specific question. What AI can do, though, is it can collate information from different articles, piece it all together, and actually give you that output. And now this isn't like a research topic, but it is a great question that has a bunch of different dimensions and a bunch of different requirements. And as we as users start to understand that AI search can help us with these types of questions, we're going to see the queries, the questions, the prompts that people use really enhance and grow and change in ways that we haven't quite seen yet. It depends on who you ask, but certain projections predict that AI search will be responsible for over 50% of all website traffic by 2028. 2028 feels like it's a long way from now. It's actually only 24 months from now. And I think all of us in the marketing space understand how busy our days feel, how quickly those months tend to fly by. 2028 will be here before we know it. And it's one of those things that's difficult to project because we don't yet know all the ways that AI will be injected into our daily lives. Right now, a lot of the talk is about AI search and those AI search engines, but we're also seeing enhanced ways that brands are using AI to monetize or enable purchases. We're going to see AI injected into things like cars later this year or early next year. So it's going to weave its way into our daily lives. It's here to stay, and we're going to see how that continues as time moves on. And then success. Measuring success in AI search is very much an emerging field. We haven't yet established as an industry best practices or core KPIs. We are trying to track things like citations. So if a user asks a question that's related to your brand or product or service, is your website cited as one of those sources that addresses that question? That's really important. Presence. For questions, again, related to your brand or vertical, how often do you show up in those answers? Whether you're referenced by the AI or cited by the AI, we want to make sure we're there. And then one of the really big surprises with AI search has been the sentiment of your brand. So AI looks at your holistic digital footprint. So not just what you say about yourself, but what other people are saying about you. And it uses that information to form an opinion when it gives a response to a user's prompt. And so that opinion could be positive, could be neutral, could be negative. We never really had to worry about would Google portray my brand in a positive or negative light before, but we do now with AI search. And so brand sentiment is a KPI we're kind of trying to refine internally. We're building some tools ourselves to better measure brand sentiment because it's an emerging piece of the visibility puzzle when it comes to how AI represents your brand.